Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week of Manchester United players are cowards. Just kidding. Welcome back to Heavy Metal Devils. God damn, it's been a wild, wild week. But anyway, this video is going to be a little bit of like a weekly recap, plus a little bit of a rant on what is happening inside. I don't even know if I can say it's a football club right now. Inside that building somewhere in Manchester, that place is a cesspool at the moment of mediocrity. I don't even want to say mediocrity. I feel like it's just a cesspool of below average standards and cowardly players, overplayed players, overhyped players. But we'll get all into that in just a second. Just before we do, I have just returned now to YouTube after a couple months break, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, likes, share, comment. I want to hear everyone's view on this wild ride we're going on at the moment with Manchester United. Good. You've done all that now. You've commented all the hate. You've subscribed. Cool. Let's get on with it. Let's go back to a week ago. We're going to kind of work through the week until we get to yesterday's events. So we were coming off what I was thinking one of the worst performances I've ever seen against Newcastle. And it was one of the worst performances I have laid my eyes on in a long time. It was an awful, awful performance. We went into that game not giving a shit, already thinking that we've lost. Our heads clearly we're in another game, in another place, at another party. Who fucking knows what these players are thinking of? And the biggest outliers of that game were the performances of Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial. And we're going to mainly talk about Rashford here, guys, because we know what Anthony Martial's about. He's about jack shit. He's basically just a floating shirt. Yeah, he'll put in a goal every once in a while against Everton, but when it comes down to it, Martial cannot move, he cannot press, he cannot run, he doesn't do anything. He's a Saudi level player and will fit in with that Saudi league just fine. A league where you don't need to do shit. But it's about Marcus Rashford, man. I've never seen such a demotivating performance from a player. This guy was just walking about the pitch, thinking maybe about his ex-girlfriend or his girlfriend. I don't know what he's thinking about. He clearly seems like he does not want to be at this club. And you know what, man? If that's the way you feel, I'll personally come hold open the door for you and get you the fuck out of there. I'm fairly confident I'm stronger than Marcus Rashford. So if you need me to throw him out of the fucking building, I can do that. I lift quite a bit. Yeah. Anyway, look, and it really hurts me to say these things because over the last since 2015, since he debuted with those two goals in the Champions League and two goals against Arsenal, he's been my favorite, if not one of my favorite players over the last decade. But it just seems like, and to be honest, sometimes I don't really blame him on this, but it just seems like he doesn't really want to be here anymore. He got his big money contract. He seemed happy with it. And now he seems happy about downing tools while still earning that big money contract. But why, look, it angers me with Marcus Rashford, but why I understand it is that he's been here for a decade and he's been through this same cycle over and over and over again. And I think at some point you just stop caring. I think maybe I would, you might. You just get complacent because you realize that the board doesn't give a fuck. They don't keep doing anything. They keep striving for mediocrity. And that just seeps down into the club, and you can see it in Marcus Rashford. But that doesn't mean you put in performances like that. Dude, you were Manchester born, bred. You've been at this club since you were 6 years old. You should know what it takes to bring this club back to what it used to be. I know it's hard. You might not have all the talent to do so, but you need to be a leader on that field and in that dressing room, man. No matter how shit it gets, how good it gets, You've been here since you were 6 years old. Act like it and care for the fucking club. He's been dropped now for the last two games. I agree with him being dropped for the Chelsea game, and we'll move on to that shortly. And then he was also dropped for the Bournemouth game, which, yeah, maybe I agree with, but seeing how that game played out, maybe he should have come in at some point. But anyway, as we're moving on through the week, post Newcastle game, Eric Ten Hag came out and decided, hey, fuck the journalist. He banned certain journalists, from his pre-match conference. And I'm all about that. I absolutely love it. Fergie used to do this all the time. But when you have these specific media outlets trying to put like a nail, drive a nail through the club, split the club, get everybody on this Eric Ten Hag business, it's time for them to put their foot down and put an end to it. Look, maybe some of the dressing room is against Eric Ten Hag. And you know what? I could give a shit because they've done this to every single manager since Fergie's left. So could give a fuck what the players want at the moment. But I absolutely love the fact that Eric Ten Hag put his foot down and banned these journalists. And I'm specifically looking at a group of journalists in particular, and that's ESPN. This is a company that prides itself on being the top the top sports broadcasting channel, YouTube channel, TV channel in the world, but they seem to never do any research or any homework. For instance, I was listening to their commentary about the Bournemouth game, and they said that entire team was Eric Ten Hag's team. When really, maybe two or three players actually were. The rest have been players from Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ollie. It's just that whole squad is a mess. And they just constantly always put it on the manager. I don't think they realize that the more managers we bring in, the harder this job gets. Each manager has to contend with players from managers 3, 4, 5, even 10 years prior to where they started. So explain to me what that manager is supposed to do if the club has an inability to move these players on because they decide they've had 6 good games and they should be paid $350K a week. That's Eric Ten Hag's fault, right? Tell me about that, ESPN. I'm just looking at guys like Stevie Nicol, even the host Dan Thomas. They just don't do any research at all. They seem to do research about other clubs, but when it comes to Manchester United, all they do is look at results. They don't look at what's actually happening at the club, and they just speak on results. And it's quite annoying. It's very juvenile, and it comes across as people who have the football IQ of a toddler. But let's move on because we can't spend all day talking about banned journalists. I hope he does more of it, to be honest. We had a game against Chelsea midweek, and holy shit, that game was awesome. It was our best performance of the season. We beat Chelsea 2-1. It could have been a lot more. Our pressing was excellent, though I think this game just showed more about how bad Chelsea is than how good we are. Mauricio Pochettino played a very stubborn style of play that made it very, very easy for us to press and have them feed passes to us through our press. So I'm not going to say that, yes, we played well, but that was also Chelsea playing unpredictable, or not predictable, but predictably bad, we'll say. And then post that, everyone thought, oh, maybe we've turned a corner, all that. And it was good. It was a good 36 hours or so, man. But we all know that these players are incapable of being consistent. And it came to complete fruition with Saturday night or Saturday afternoon against Bournemouth. And also, I want to add in between all this time, we keep getting fucking delays on this Jim Ratcliffe stuff, which cannot be adding, which it's just throwing the club into more disarray. We don't know what is happening at the moment. But I assure you, with what happened maybe on Saturday afternoon, they might push this announcement forward. Saturday afternoon, guys. Saturday afternoon. We should have had a reasonably easy game considering the week we're about to have. Bournemouth show up and score after the first 5 minutes. Shit, they could have scored after the first minute. Our players, and I'm going to put this on the captain. Yes, the coach has made some interesting choices, but I don't know. I don't know what choice he really has, guys. But the players are cowards, man. They did not show up. They down tools. And on this game, I need to highlight, and this has been not just this game, but it's been previously, is Scott McTominay. Other than Anthony Martial, this dude is the biggest waste of space in football at the moment. Yes, I get it. He can score a goal here and there. And in my opinion, him scoring goals at the moment is the worst thing that can happen to Manchester United because that means he keeps getting picked in the team. This guy yesterday, I know this was the first half stat. I don't know if it finished like that. Andre Onana had more touches than Scott McTominay. Andre Onana is a goalkeeper. Scott McTominay is supposed to be a number 8 midfielder. That's fucking embarrassing, dude. This guy, I don't know about you guys, but we call him Casper the Ghost because he purposely gets himself marked, goes hiding in games, and thinks he can just show up like an R9 and score goals and everything's going to be okay. But what he's really doing is leaving our midfield completely exposed, having either Amrabat, Casemiro, or even Mainu trying to run the midfield by themselves. This guy's clearly, I don't think he's listening to what the coach is actually saying. I think the goal scoring is going to his head and he's trying to be a number 9 or a false 9. And it's just letting teams completely run through our midfield and score goals. It's been happening since the fucking Wolves game. It happened last year. It's happened during Ollie's reign. Scott McTominay is not a fucking midfielder. He's not. He's an impact sub where you can take your number 10 or take your striker off and put him up front. But when it comes to being a disciplined midfielder, he started out being a disciplined midfielder. I don't know what's happened to him. He sucks and he needs to get the hell on out of here. The only positive outlier is that maybe the goals that he's scoring at the moment can drive his value up and we can get some more money from him over the summer. Our defense is completely wrecked. We're playing Ollie's defense. We're playing an Ollie midfield and almost a complete Ollie attack yesterday in that Bournemouth game. It's almost embarrassing, man. It's really embarrassing. But no offense, we should be beating Bournemouth at home, not losing to damn near 4 goals. It should have been 4 goals. It's an embarrassing team. It's a cowardly team. And it's been like this for the last decade. And if you think sacking Eric Ten Hag is going to do anything, it might down the line once these players are gone. But right now, it's not going to do jack shit. We've seen the same cycle happen. Okay, Moyes was terrible. But it happened with Moyes. It happened with Louis van Gaal. It's happened with Jose Mourinho. And it happened with Ole. It happened with Ragnick. These players are children, guys. I'm going to throw every fucking player I saw in that team, bar maybe Amrabat and Højlund, under the bus. I am at the point where I don't give a fuck about who goes. Rashford can go. Bruno. Honestly, I think Bruno not being in that Liverpool part of the Liverpool game next week might be a good thing because I'm sick. Dude, no doubt he's an awesome player. He's a clueless, petulant, unpredictable player. And only a fucking moron gets himself booked for speaking to the referee when you know the next booking is going to put you out one of our biggest games of the season. It's like he almost did it on purpose so he didn't have to play. Get the fuck Bruno out. Get Rashford out. I'm at the point where Luke Shaw can go. Martial can go. Harry Maguire, we tried to get rid of. And obviously, one of the biggest guys that's got to go is Scott McTominay. Anybody that has been here since Louis van Gaal, Mourinho, early Ole days, all need to go. Their mentality is sickening. It's infectious, and it's bringing down everyone around them. If I had to pick anyone out of those that I've named or on this thumbnail for this, little shit video I'm doing, I'd keep Luke Shaw because at least he is a decent left back. The rest can fuck off, man. I'm sick of. I love Rashford, but I think his mind is not here anymore. Wow, sorry about that. I could give a shit about him scoring 30 goals last year because post Carabao Cup final he was absolute ass. I could give a shit about Maguire. He's been ass since his Mykono incident. Bruno for me, great player, very inconsistent, too whiny and too petulant, and does stupid things in stupid moments. He can fuck off as well now. I actually would rather see Mason Mount play 10. Anthony Martial should have been gone 4 years ago. Scott McTominay should have never been called up to the senior squad. He should have been gone. Anyway, that's just what I think, guys. Let's look a little bit forward because we've got a big week. To be honest, guys, we've got Bayern Munich on Tuesday, and I honestly think that we will beat Bayern, mainly because they don't really have anything to play for, and also our players tend to have some sort of response when things like this happen, which is just disgusting. And then we'll probably get hammered by Liverpool. It's just the honest truth, guys. I probably won't even watch that Liverpool game because it's just going to be a waste of time, a waste of my energy, and a waste of my mood. So it's becoming very, very difficult, guys. But let me tell you this. I am behind the manager because I've seen this happen with every manager previously. Player power is where this club is failing. Obviously, we're not talking about the owners today, but we're letting players get away with being children, spoiled children, overpaid divas. And it's time that our new ownership or our part ownership, whatever it is, that Jim Ratcliffe comes in and sends them to fucking the Championship League. They don't deserve to be in the Premier League, half of these players, the way they perform. Send them the fuck down. Send them abroad. Get them the fuck out of this league. They don't deserve to be a part of this club. They don't even deserve to be a part of the greatest football league in the world. Send them to Saudi. I don't give a fuck where these players go. Just get them the fuck out of my club because we're exhausted. We are tired. I don't even really want to. It's not about winning anymore, guys. I want to see people love this club and play for this club like they actually care, not make it about themselves. But we'll see. It's going to be a long rest of the season, guys. Whew, at least basketball season's back on basketball season, and we're getting towards postseason for American football. So at least I can watch some other sports. But I'll still be here doing videos. It's most likely going to be videos like this for the next few weeks until we start really understanding what Jim Ratcliffe is planning to do. And maybe we'll make some signings come January, but whatever, dude. That's been a bit of a weekly recap and a just outward rant about where this club is at the moment. Comment down below. I want to hear your thoughts. What players would you keep, if any? What players do you want to bring in? Is this manager in or out for you? He's in for me at the moment. But things are getting close, baby. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Later.